Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and part 2 of Fierce Friends. This is the newest grayscale coloring page that I have in my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that down in the description box below. Or you can hit the About Me tab and it will take you right to my Etsy shop. So been kind of deciding on which direction I want to go next. I decided against doing the background, even though it's the furthest away. I'm going to be doing that in oil pastels, and I don't want I don't want to have any problems. I'd rather get the pencil in and then push the oil pastels up to the pencil. So we'll do the background last. I am going to do her hand, arm and hand, and her hair. And I don't know why, but I'm having the craving to do her hair first. So I'm going to do her hair, and then I'll work on her hand. And I think that's it. We will get started. So I am going to use Beige and Sienna Brown, Chestnut, Dark Brown, and maybe a little bit of Terra Cotta, and maybe some Luminance Dark Flesh, but that's just totally like, you probably don't need it. We'll just have to see how it goes. So I don't want anybody to be worried about like how to do the messy hair like this, because you're going to do it exactly the same way as you do any other coloring page of hair. So we're going to work in clumps and sections. So I'm going to start with my beige, and I'm going to put some of this here on the bit of hair that's capturing the light over here. I think I should be okay to do this. We'll just add a few strands of hair over the top of the tiger after we get him done. So there's this little bit of hair that twists around. We can put some beige on that. So you're basically just going to be, maybe I'll just work one clump at a time. So I'm focusing on kind of like this as a clump of hair, and then we can move on and do other sections. So we'll do that. We'll do one little clump at a time. So I think I'm going to use Sienna Brown next. And just like I do with any other very neat and tidy hair coloring page, we're just going to work the colors into the center of the clump so that your lightest color is in the center. And we'll do some here. I'm going to use several colors because I want her to have a variety of tones and colors in her hair. So we'll do Sienna Brown, and let's do some champagne. Not champagne. Why do I want to go? Oh, because it looks like champagne right there. No, chestnut. We're going to do a little bit of chestnut. I'm wondering if I want to put that in here before the... Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of chestnut. Kind of glaze that in here. And I'm going to do some dark brown. Actually, let's do this right here. These are those, you know, those little fine short hairs that are right against your scalp. That's kind of like what that is right there. So let's get that filled in. And I'm actually going to pull some of those onto the scalp or the forehead. then I want some dark, so I'll use dark brown. All right, so what else do we have here? Some Terra Cotta. Let's see what that looks like. Let's do a little bit of Terra Cotta. And I think a little bit more Chestnut. Get my blender out. Look how much more vibrant that color gets when you go over it with the blender. All right, and then I want to see what this Dark Flesh color does from Luminance. You don't need it. You could do, you know, you could just leave it out if you don't have it. It's not super important, but I kind of like it. All right, let's keep going with our, so we're going to take our beige and go over some of these bits that are, you know, really light that you can see in the, and then some of this. And use a really sharp pencil because you want those hairs to be thin. And we're just going to add a few. I think we can probably stop there. That'll be all right. All right, and then we did Sienna Brown. So I'm not pressing hard. I'm just kind of flicking that hair in there. By the time we add all the other colors, the color should get nice and rich. So see, I'm going to treat this as a clump, and then this hair that comes over the top, that's another clump. So we're going to work from here in. Let's do some chestnut. And some Terra Cotta. And a little bit of dark brown. This is going to be dark right in here. This is going to be dark. Okay, let's do the this one that goes over. And then once we blend this, we can take our light one and just kind of go over the top a little bit so that you can tell that it's flipping over the top. And I might even add a little bit of dark brown right in here. And I think we're going to wind up coming in with some black too. I'm going to take my beige and just flick some hairs. So that way when I come in with the Sienna Brown, if my pressure is light, I can just roll that color right over the top of everything, and the beige that I put down will still show through. Make sure you get your color all the way down to where it is sort of covering the skin tone that you put down earlier, so that there's no gray showing. And you can use any any color you want. This is the Sienna Brown again, and I'm just gonna softly merge the forehead with the hair, so that there's no gray showing. All right, I'm gonna keep going here. So it's all just flicking color in. Let's do some chestnut. Chestnut gives it a little bit more red. And then if you want to, you can come in where the beige settled in and you have your light bits and you can see them. Then you can just come in with some of these other colors and just kind of go between the light parts. So you're not really going over them a whole lot, because we do want to try and preserve those. This right here needs something. It's too light. So I'm just throwing some, whichever, random colors. Pick one of the ones you have in your hand. It doesn't really matter too much. All right, back to beige. Let's get some. And this is one of those cases when you do want to twist your pencil and you do want to use the sharp corner, or the sharpest edge of the pencil. These have to go. Okay. So Sienna Brown again. The nice thing about messy hair like this is that you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to follow exactly to what's on the page. All right, I'm going to keep using the chestnut here and glaze this in a little bit. So I think you guys know what I mean when I say glaze. It's just a really super light layering of color so that you can still see through to what's underneath. I use that term a lot, and I never thought about whether or not you knew what I was talking about, but I figure you guys probably do. You're a smart bunch. I can't remember if I put, can't see it very well because it's beige on tan. It's kind of hard to see. Sienna Brown. All right, let's do the dark brown. You know what I haven't done? I have not pulled my blender out at all. So let's do that. See what kind of... Put some Terra Cotta on this now. So this messy area here, I'm just gonna kind of let it be messy. I'm not gonna try and go in the direction of the hair, because it's really, the direction of the hair is really kind of all over the place. All right. I want this to be nice and dark in here, so dark brown. All right, I'm feeling like we need some black. So let me just see what that does for us. I use the black in the corners of sections, just like this, to define that section a little bit more and recess it back. I'm not quite sure if this is dark enough for me yet. I think I need to get it all done first and then I'll know. This is Chestnut. It's putting a little bit more red. All right, let's do this right here. And then I'll show you guys how I do her dreadlocks. So just throwing a few light bits on here. And we might as well do this here too. Let me pull this up so I don't get out of frame. Okay, that's good. Okay, and then maybe just a couple right there. Let's do some Sienna Brown. Oh, and I want to do a few hairs that cover over that ear. I think I'll do those in Terra Cotta. So just pull a few hairs over the ear like that. And some chestnut. And dark brown. Actually, let's do dark brown in here. This is Sienna Brown. Chestnut. Okay, just going to cover up some of this with. Okay, so for dreadlocks, I'm going to take my beige and I'm just going to like crisscross. You can do some that are parallel, but you want some to kind of crisscross over the top of each other too. I'll show you, it'll show up better if I do it in a darker color here. So give me a sec. Okay, so if I were to do that with the Sienna Brown, let me sharpen this. So when I do the dreadlocks, you're just kind of making these random strokes crisscrossing each other down the dreadlock. Okay, before I get too carried away, this right here is the top of the feather, so I want to make sure I get that in there so I don't cover that up. This is a bead, that's a bead. Okay, we'll keep going. All right, next color, chestnut. At this point, you could just start glazing this over the top and covering some of that paper underneath, because you've already got your crisscrossy marks. All right, and then I'm going to use dark brown and just kind of work that on one side. On the other side. Really can't mess this up. Okay, let's get the get this hair done here. Really, I should have done the shirt. The shirt is one of those things, though, that I don't think is going to be all that interesting to watch. But it's got to get done. All right, let me... I want to use the Dark Flesh. If you wanted to, you could maybe use espresso. If you feel like you need it. I just love this color because it's dark, but it's kind of reddish and warm, and I just really like what it does. But I think espresso would be a good choice too. So see, I'm going to come into some of these areas where I can see the lights and the darks. And I'm just going to define some of those a little bit more. Let's put some color over here. It's driving me crazy that it's not done. Sienna Brown. So this part will be only partially done because I don't want to go too crazy until I get the tiger done. So we'll just go with it like that for her, for that side of her hair. You know, it's kind of getting smushed in there with the tiger being up next to her face. So, all right, I'm thinking I want to darken this a little bit. You could use dark brown if you don't have dark flesh, or you could use espresso. And what do I think? Am I happy? I think I want to take, I want to do something in here and I'm not sure what. So let's use the dark flesh. You could use espresso or dark brown, and I just want to, actually this is like her skin, so you probably want to use espresso. And a little bit of black. All right, and then let's just do some, you can hold your pencil back pretty far. Now this is only if you're using white paper, because if you're using, this is only if you're using tan paper, because if you're using white, this is not going to show up. I sure wish I knew why. I mean, I don't quite understand the difference between, I mean, if there's pencil on the page, there's pencil on the page, right? So why does it matter whether the paper underneath the pencil is colored or white? But for some reason, the white paper just does not let these light colors show up on top of the color pencil, and I don't know why that is. But one more reason that I like the tan paper, because now I have all these fine little hairs that are catching the light. That I wouldn't get if I was doing it on the white paper. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with her hair as that goes. I do have some hair, just a couple of bits to do over here, but I'm kind of thinking I might want to do well, part of me is like, oh, you should do the dress or her shirt first. And the other part of me is like, no, just throw it down in here. So I'm just gonna, this is the chestnut. You could use any color. I'm just using the chestnut. So Okay, all right, so now I have to decide if I should do her shirt. I think I need to do her shirt. So I'm gonna do her arm next and then her shirt. I got something on it. Her arm and her shirt. And then we'll do the feathers and such after I get that done. So give me just a minute to reset and pull out the pencils that I need to do her arm. Okay, let's do this arm and hand. So I want to make sure that I'm all the way, there we go. All right, so I'm going to add some chestnut here. I'm kind of excited to get started on the tiger. I think tigers and foxes are my favorite animals to do. There's just so much pretty variation in the fur, variation of colors, and yeah, just really like them. All right, let's put some peach down here. Because I realized I think I totally just didn't even put anything down on this part of her arm. Light peach. And let's do a little eggshell. And some Sienna Brown. I think chestnut. And let's see, let's keep going with that a little bit. We'll try peach to blend. And actually, I think I need a little bit of it as a shadow. Might have been the wrong color to use. Don't think I like that very much. So I'm going to take beige and go over that. Lighten that up a little bit. Okay, let's keep working on the arm. I'm going to add some more white. I might have to figure out a way to do this so that I can get this. Oh no, I'll do that. Let's work on the arm, and then I'm going to pull this down so that I can get that hand in a better position for me to work on, because right now it's a little bit high. So peach. I'm going to use some more chestnut. I'm going to do a little bit here. And more over here. Did I tell you I figured out how to print my pages from edge to edge on the paper? It's just in my printer settings. When I go to hit print, I just have to, how do I explain it? Because every printer is going to be different. I have the choice of choosing, you know, regular 8.5 by 11, or if I hover over the thing a little bit, it gives me the choice to do borderless, 8.5 by 11 borderless. When I found that, I was like, yippee! And so I was very excited because I've always had to like fill in the edges myself, draw in the rest of the picture to the edge, because I like my pages going from edge to edge. Now I don't have to do that anymore. This is beige, by the way. All right, I'm gonna come back up. Okay, I think I want a little bit more chestnut. This is eggshell. And white. I don't like that, but maybe when we put the shirt in, it'll fix it and it'll get better. All right, let's try and do this hand. I did it once before, I can do it again. All right, I'm gonna start with putting some little finger creases, kind of like you see on your knuckle. We're gonna put some of those on her knuckles as well. And then we're gonna do the little dark creases that go in here. This is all gonna get kind of covered up with fur. This is actually a fingernail right here. So let's get that in. I just picked a pink. Pick a pink, any pink. I don't think it matters. It'll get covered up somewhat. Okay. What was I saying? I have no idea. I really have no idea. All right, so dark in here. And then we've got this to keep going. Then we've got, I think I already kind of did this, so a little bit of white. All right, let's do some peach. These veins here do show up a little bit lighter, so we want a little bit of lightness there, I think. Light peach. I know it'll look a lot better when I get the tiger fur on top. Let's do a little bit of Sienna Brown. Yes, a little bit of Sienna Brown. These are the little, like, really? Do you really need to do that much detail? And I would say not necessarily, but why not? I got to do whatever I can to try and make the hand look as real as possible, because I'm not very good at them. So any trick in my book that I can use to make it look better, I'm going to use it. And the funny thing is that I can do it one time and it'll turn out great. Like the first time I go to do something, it'll just be awesome. And then the second time and the third time and the fourth time I try to do it, fail, epic fail. It's like, I don't understand why. All right, that's gonna get covered with fur, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. How's her coloring on her hand compared to the coloring on the rest of her body? Not too bad. Yeah, it doesn't suck, but it's not the way I would ideally want it. I might be able to fix that with when I do his fur. I might be able to hide and reshape some stuff so that lighted looks better. Because really, there'd be shadows. Hands are one of the hardest things for me. I don't know why. And of course, I'm trying to look at this by using the wrong hand because that's her pinky. So looking at it isn't helping. Looking at my other hand isn't helping. All right, I'm gonna call that okay, and I'll maybe work on it some more when I get the tiger fur in. Just blending this out. I know I'm out of frame now, but really all I'm doing is just blending. Okay. Let's do her shirt. Oh, her shirt. Yeah, I have to do her shirt. So, yeah, I do. I have to do her shirt now. So, let me pull out those pencils that I need, and I will be right back. Okay, so for her shirt, I'm going to use Henna, Chestnut, Light Peach, maybe a little bit of white. But I'll start with using the Light Peach as the highlight. So I'm just going to put some of this down first. Very lightly. I'm not pushing hard because I do want it to blend okay in with the other colors. We can always add more. I know you probably can't even see anything here, so I'm going to do a little bit here on the on her sleeve, and I'm going to do some on her collar. You know how a collar, when it gets rolled over for a shirt, it kind of does that weird thing. So that's what I tried to duplicate here, was that. Okay, let's see, a little bit here. And we can always lighten, more. So let's start there, and let's do, henna or I think henna. I think henna's the main color. Chestnut will be used to make things a little bit darker. So let's do this. I'm gonna try and avoid those tiger hairs as best I can. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking that I should just put this on double time, because I'm literally just filling in with this color. I'm going to go over the whole shirt with it, and then I'll come back in, come back to regular time when I switch to the other color, or if I do anything fascinating. But otherwise, it's just going to be boring as heck watching me just like fill in color here. So I will see you very shortly. going to take my chestnut now and add it into the darker areas, the shadows. And I am going to go over everything again one more time with, well, at least one more time with the henna. Let's do a little. Okay. Just gonna go over the shadow here. Go over this shadow here. Okay, back to another layer of henna, and I'm going to see if I can't apply a little bit more pressure this time. So, because I really want to, you know, fill this in. We don't want any of the grayscale page showing through. So I'm going to go ahead and double time again, and I'll be back. All right, my friends, I am sorry. I have no idea what happened. I went to look at the video, and the last time that I went to film, it ran for like 20 seconds and then just stopped, and I had no idea. So really all I did was just keep layering those two colors, the henna. I added again a second layer of the henna. I added a little bit of Sienna Brown, nope, Terra Cotta. I added a little bit of Terra Cotta just in a couple of random places, kind of like where maybe the sunlight might hit it, just to give it a little bit of a slight variation of color, make it a little bit more interesting. And then I just blended everything all out with my colorless blender. So you have the colors. I didn't do anything, you know, super fancy or exciting. So that's what's going on with that. I'm sorry about that. So we're gonna go ahead and since we have the time, we're gonna go ahead and do the beads and feathers in her hair. So I'm going to start with just getting these little bit of dreadlocky bits that are holding the feathers. Get those colored in. And then we'll move on. There's really, and they're so tiny, there's really not a lot to do here. I'm just looking, that bit right there is supposed to be skin. We don't want to leave that, so I'm going to put some light peach on it. And some chestnut, and somewhat, some Sienna Brown maybe, just to get it kind of closer to the color that the skin should be right there. That's fine. Okay, so feathers. I am going to, if I can find it. I don't have that many penciled out. Where the heck is it? Here. I'm going to actually make this feather a really dark blue. So I'm using Indigo Blue. And so you're just gonna see a touch of it. It's not going to be obvious. And if we wanted to, we could add a little bit of white. And that would make some of that blue show up. Just like that. Okay, let's do the beads. All right, I'm going to use Celadon and Jade Green and some dark gray. So this one is Jade. Put a little bit of white down first. And then I'm going to use the 70% cool gray as the, shading on it. All right, this one we'll put some white. And let's see, is there any other color I want to use? Let's do, jade, I guess. Jade. But I want a little bit of something else. What? Cobalt turquoise. Aquamarine. Let's use a little bit of cobalt turquoise. This is Celadon. I don't think it really matters. I don't like that one. I don't like that. Scratch that. So I'm going to pull that Indigo Blue. And put that there. That's better. I want a little bit more color on this one. Okay, let's come over here, put a little bit of white. I missed a whole section of hair right there. So I'm just going to take my Sienna Brown and it really doesn't matter. I just grabbed the espresso. I just wanted something. Actually, I put some black in here. Okay, back to beads. This is 70% cool gray. one in, the Celadon. And let's put some Indigo Blue on this one too. Okay, then I'm going to take my black, just put it right underneath. I feel like I want those to be greener. Just a little glaze of lime peel on that. That's fine. Okay, so let's do these feathers. I'm going to bring that one on top of this piece of hair. And then I think I'm going to pick something that I already have out. Let's take, nope, I don't want that. Okay, never mind. Let's take light umber. And just put a little bit of that in there. Okay. White goes here. We're going to use all different cool blues for these. So for this one, let's use 70% cool. And then let's use 90% cool, which is somewhere. Let's use that here. If you don't want to do your feathers like this and you want to do them a different way, you totally can. Just because it's a little dark here does not mean that you can't put a lighter color on top and totally change the look of the feather. So don't feel like just because you see the grayscale there is dark that it has to be dark, because it doesn't. Especially on tan paper, but I think on white paper too, because the ink kind of acts as the way that the tan paper does, to where the light color will show up real nicely on top of the dark grayscale. I mean, you're not going to get white going on top of dark, but you will get definitely lighter colors with no problem. All right, let's do, let's see, this is actually a feather going this way. And then we have a feather here. Let's use 30% cool gray on this one. And then we can put white on top of that. And then this one, let's do let's do white. So white down the center. He's kind of twisted a little bit, this feather. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put white on it. Then I'll take the 50% cool gray. Let's go. And let's take the 70%. I kind of tried to make it look like it was kind of twisted. I don't know how well I succeeded on that, but okay. Let's just take our white and make a little bit of mess. Cool. Okay, let's do this one. This one's gonna get the same fluffy treatment, more so than this one. And then I think curve these a little bit. All right, let's take, let's try 30%. And that's not dark enough, so 70%. And And if you don't want to do your feathers the same as me, just do a Google search for feathers and find some that have the colors and the look that you want. And just use those for your inspiration instead. Okay, I'm just going to add, I don't think that helped. Let's see. Let's go. Add the stem right there. I think that looks okay. All right, this one I'm going to put white. I like the look of the fluffy, the fluffy feathers. I've got an area here on either side of this stem that needs to be darkened. I have espresso in my stash, so I'm just going to use that. Really anything. Maybe I'll put some chestnut in there too. Because that's her shirt. And just gonna throw some hairs. Okay. 30% cool gray. Actually, let's do the stem. It's not really a stem. Shaft, the feather shaft first. Cool. What is this? Oh, you know what? I just realized I totally made a mistake. I'm seeing it now that I'm looking at what I'm doing. So this is the feather. This is hair. So I'm going to take my henna and I'm going to take my, what color am I going to use? That's Sienna Brown, right? Sienna Brown. Okay, this is hair. And yeah, I guess that worked. Don't really need the henna, just the Sienna Brown. Let's add some dark brown. It's not really showing up. That's fine. I thought that looked funny when I threw that down on there. Okay. Back to this is 70% cool gray, but it's sure showing up very blue. Interesting. Okay, this is 90%. That's dark. that's too dark. Okay, pull this up. Not happy with the way that this one looks. So that's supposed to be the feather being kind of bent, but it actually looks a little bit too long. What is this? 50. I guess that's not too bad. Maybe I might throw in, instead of everything being totally, let's throw in some French gray, like 70% French gray. Make it a little different. That's better. I'm good with that. Let's darken this instead of it being white. All right. I think we're good for today. The next one I will do the tiger, and I may have to do a quick short one with the background at the end. I just don't know how long he's going to take me. But we are going to do some gold leaf again on this. So yeah, I think we need a little bit more of some shadows. Shadows aren't showing up very dark in here. Like, we need some shadows here. I might have to work on those. What would I use for that? Dark brown? I always wonder, like, on warm colored objects or clothing or whatever, would the shadow continue to just be a darker version of the color that it's on top of, or would you use a cool, would you use a gray? I'm always unsure about that. I guess that's something I am going to have to teach myself. Seems like it would just be a darker version of the color. So that's what I have got going on here. That's better. Got a little bit more shadow going in there. I think I'm pretty happy with the hair. I may come in even with white, I wonder. I may add a few more crazy messy hairs, because this is a messy hairstyle. It is not a pretty, it's not a pretty one. I mean, I think it's pretty, but it's messy and pretty. So having those like stray hairs on there, I think adds to it. So, all right, I'm going to call this one finished for now. Sorry about the snafu on the doing her shirt. But I think you saw the important part, putting in the highlights. Shadows were chestnut, and then just, you know, a couple layers of the henna. And I'm looking at this right now, feeling like this is lacking a little bit of color. So if you can see your paper or the grayscale underneath your colored pencils, you don't have enough layers down. I guess that would be my main advice. Covering up everything really well, I think, is going to give you your best results on grayscale. So, all right, my friends. Until I see you next time for the tiger, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye.